Namo Namaha. First of all, pranam to the teachers. I thank Chinmay Vishwavidyapith for giving me this opportunity to speak. I will also, first of all, like to thank my teacher, Gauri Madam. I have learned Sanskrit from her to give me this opportunity for to talk on one of my favorite topics, that is ancient Indian mathematics and computer science. So we are going through a phase of global pandemic and through a phase of lockdown, wherein we cannot meet our friends, and a lot of people, they can't even meet their family members. They are separated. They are physically separated, but digitally connected. See, in this global pandemic lockdown, uh, people are busy delivering lectures. They are busy attending webinars. So physically separated, but digitally connected should be our motto in these days of global pandemic. Now, today's modern digital technologies have enabled us to get through these days of lockdown. Otherwise, I don't think so. I would have been talking to you without this, using this modern digital communication technologies. But do you know what is the fundamental principle or the foundation on which today's digital technology works? It is the binary number system. And who gave the binary number system to the world, or rather, who was the first person who had created the binary number system and used it? It was ancient Indian prosodist and mathematician Pingal, who was the first to develop and use the binary number system. Pingala developed it while studying and analyzing Sanskrit poetic meters or Chand in his work Chanda Sastra, which was composed around the 3rd century BC. The binary number system, like the decimal number system, is a place value number system. Now, people say that India gave the decimal number system to the world. But what is so unique about decimal number system? It is more important than the decimal number system is the place value number system. So in decimal number system, we have 10 digits. We have 10 symbols, that is 0 and 1 through 9. That is, we have 10 symbols. Likewise, in binary number system, you have only 2 digits or 2 symbols, 0 and 1, which are called bits. Now, bit is a short for a binary digit. And we how are binary number systems and computers connected, or the digital technology connected? Now, 0 stands for low voltage or off, switch off, and 1 stands for high voltage or switch on. Or so you have a switch off, switch on off states. So binary number system is a base 2 number system. Like you have this decimal number system or binary number system. Likewise, you can have base 5 number system. So you have in base 5 number system, you've got 5 symbols. That is 0 and 1 through 4. Computer scientists use octal number system, which have 8 symbols. And that octal number system was also used by Pingalacharya and later prosodist. We'll come to that. And also you have hexadecimal number systems that is extensively used by computer scientists to write binary sequence of binary numbers in a short form. We'll come to that. So in decimal number system, the value of the digit depends on its position. That is, the digit times the power of 10. Same way, in binary number system, the value of the digit depends on its position, but here it is the digit times the power of 2. In school arithmetic, everyone has learned that the decimal number system 237 is 2 into 100. That is, 2 is in the hundreds place, the 3 is in the tens place, and 7 is in the units place. So 237 can be written as 2 times 100 plus 3 times 10 plus 7 times 1. So that is how you get 2 into 10 raised to 2, because 100 is 2's power of 10 plus 3 into 10 raised to 1 plus 7 into 10 raised to 0, or rather any number raised to 0 is 1. So 7 times 1. Same way, the binary equivalent of 237 is 11101101. Like how we did the decimal representation of 237, same way we can write 1 into 2 raised to 7 plus 1 into 2 raised to 6 plus 1 into 2 raised to 5 plus 0 into 2 raised to 4 plus 1 into 2 raised to 3 plus 1 into 2 raised to 2. So now here we have a 0 into 2 raised to 1 plus 1 into 2 raised to 0. So you are adding up powers of 2 to get 237. So let me show you a table of decimal numbers from 0 to 31 and its binary equivalent. So just have a glimpse of the table. So later on, when we have the sequence of Lagu and Guru Swar that were created by Pingalacharya, you will be able to see the analogy. You have now decimal numbers from 0 to 31 and its equivalent binary numbers. That is from 5 zeros to 5 1, or you have 5 bits. Now, you must be wondering how Pingalacharya developed the binary number system. Now, to understand this, we have to first understand the basics of Sanskrit prosody or Sanskrit Chand. Now, the foundation of Chand or the Sanskrit prosody are Lagu and Guru Swar. Now, letters in Sanskrit can be either long, that is Guru Swar, or short, that is Lagu Swar. Now, these two types of syllables are the foundations or the basic building blocks of Sanskrit prosody. A verse in classical Sanskrit literature or a composition in classical Sanskrit literature has 4 quarters or pad, that is foot, in a stanza. Now, the meter of a verse is determined by the number of swar or syllables and their order of arrangement in a pad or the foot of a verse. Now, what is a swar? A syllable, akshar, is a vowel or a vowel with one or more consonants preceding it. That is swar and vyanjan. Now, what is a lagu swar or a short syllable? A short syllable is one which ends with one of the short or harasva vowels, which are a, e, u, r, and l. Now, a short syllable can also be a guru if it is followed by a conjunct consonant or a anuswar or a visarga. The guru swar or a long syllable is defined as one with one of the long vowels or the dirgha swar, which are a, e, u, r, a, I, o, and au. Now, the last syllable or the last swar of the pad of a meter is taken to be a guru optionally. Now, let me explain you what is the arrangement of Lagu and Guru Swar using a illustration, and I will use one of my favorite compositions by Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya is my favorite poet because his compositions are deeply spiritual and very beautiful. They have a very good melody. So I have selected one of his best compositions, the Bhavani Ashtakam. And there is one more reason why I select Bhavani Ashtakam, because it has got a very beautiful and simple melody or the simple chand. And another thing, Ma Bhavani is our Kul Devi. So we have the Bhavani Ashtakam, And Ashtakam means a composition having 8 stanzas. So Bhavani Ashtakam, na tato, na mata, na bandhur, na data, na putro, na putri, na bhratyo, na bharta, na jaya, na vidya, na vritirmarmaiva, gatishvam, gatishvam, tomeka bhavani, gatishvam, gatishvam, tomeka bhavani. This is the second stanza of Bhavani Ashtakam. And you can go through the entire poetry. It is a very nice. Lot of recordings are available on YouTube. Now, let us have another look at the composition. This is one stanza. There are 4 quarters or 4 pad. Every quarter of Bhavani Ashtakam consists of 12 letters or 12 syllables. The pattern or order of the arrangement of swar in each quarter is Lagu Guru Guru, Lagu Guru Guru, Lagu Guru Guru. Now this meter consisting of 12 syllables is called Bhujanga Prayatam. And during the last lecture by my friend Dr. Gokarna Karji, he actually narrated the story about the creation of Bhujanga Prayatam Chand. A very beautiful story. You can later on watch the recording of that lecture. Now, for a pad or quarter or the foot of a meter consisting of 12 letters, you can have 2 raised to 12 or 4096 different arrangements of Guru and Lagu syllables. So let us say if we have a pad consisting of 12 syllables, then you can have 4096 different arrangements of Guru and Lagu swar. That is, you can have 4096 different meters having 12 syllables. Now, Pingalacharya had developed a technique or an algorithm. Now, what is an algorithm? Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step instruction to solve a certain problem, or it can also be called a recipe to accomplish a certain task or solve a certain problem. So Pingalacharya had developed a pratyay called prastar to enlist all the possible combinations of syllables for a quarter having n letters. So if you have n letters in a quarter and you want to know all the possible combinations, so Pingalacharya had developed a technique called prastar, which will enlist all the possible combinations, or what is known as combinatorial sequence generation. A prastar means to unfold or to open up. Now we'll look at the pratyay called prastar. The 8th chapter of Chanda Shastra is consisting of the mathematics of Chanda Shastra. Sutras numbered from 8.20 to 8.34, that is 15 sutras. They give you the mathematics, all the algorithms to do mathematical analysis of Chand. So we have the sutra 8.20, Dvikau Glow, which will give you the prastar for a meter consisting of 1 syllable. So for a meter having only 1 syllable, you can have only 2 combinations. That is, either you can have a Guru swar or you can have a Lagu swar. There can't be any other combination. So for a meter consisting of only 1 syllable or only 1 swar, you can have 2 combinations. That is a Guru and a Lagu. So how do you construct or create a prastar having for a prastar for a meter having 2 syllables? So Pingalacharya gives us the sutra Mishraucha. In the first step, Pingalacharya copied the previous matrix, that is this table, Guru and Lagu. Immediately below itself, you have a Guru Lagu and you have a Guru Lagu below it. And in the next column, he mixes 2 Gurus and 2 Lagus in the next column. So you have 4 rows in a prastar for a meter consisting of 2 syllables. So you have a Guru Guru, Lagu Guru, Guru Lagu, Lagu Lagu. So you are going from 2 gurus to 2 Lagu. So we have constructed a prastar or a matrix or a table for a meter consisting of 2 syllables from a meter consisting of 1 syllable. Now, how do you construct a prastar for a meter consisting of 3 syllables? That you can from this particular table. Prutagla Mishraha, that is the sutra to construct a prastar for a meter consisting of 3 syllables. So you are repeating the same procedure. Copy the previous matrix immediately below itself, and in the next column, in the upper half, you write 4 gurus, and in the lower half, you write 4 lagus. So you see this. This is the prastar for meter consisting of 2 syllables. Below it, we have copied itself, and in the column, next column or the last column, we have mixed 4 gurus and 4 lagus. Now the next sutra is Vasa Vastrika. Now what is the meaning of Vasa Vastrika? It tells us that the prastar for a meter consisting of 3 syllables consists of 8 rows. So we have this we are going from 3 guru to 3 lagu. And if you look at the pattern, we have the Guru Lagu, Guru Lagu, Guru Lagu. And in the next row, we have 2 Guru, 2 Lagu, 2 Guru, 2 Lagu. Then 4 Guru, 4 Lagu. Now, from this prastar for a meter consisting of 3 syllables, we can make or create a prastar for a meter consisting of 4 syllables or 4 swar. So we repeat the same procedure, that is copy the previous matrix immediately below itself, and in the next column, upper half of the next column, write 8 guru, and in the lower half you write 8 lagu. So this is the prastar for a meter consisting of 4 syllables or 4 swar. And you see the pattern: Guru Lagu, Guru Lagu, Guru Lagu, Guru Guru, Lagu Lagu, 4 Guru, 4 Lagu, 4 Guru, 4 Lagu, 8 Gurus and 8 Lagus. Now we come to a stage where we can understand how Pingalacharya actually developed the binary number system. If we replace this Guru with 0 and Lagu with 1, we get this pattern of zeros and 1. So we go from all 4 zeros to all 4 ones. Now we will compare this table with the table that we had created in the first place. So here we have the decimal numbers from 0 to 15. This is the binary sequence generated by Pingal. And these are the binary numbers. But if you look at these 2 columns, you will see that the binary sequence generated by Pingal is the mirror image of the binary representation of the decimal numbers. Now, why are the binary sequences generated by Pingal mirror images of the binary number? The reason is that when we write numbers, the least significant bit or the least significant digit is on the right side, and the most significant digit is on the left side. Whereas when Pingalacharya generated the binary sequence, we write characters or letters in a language from left to right, whereas we write numbers from right to left. So the first syllable is placed on the left, next syllable is placed on the right, then the next syllable is placed to its right. So that is why the binary sequence generated by Pingal is the mirror image of the binary representation of decimal numbers or the binary numbers. This is how Pingalacharya created the binary number system. And this is one of the most significant contributions of India to the world of mathematics and computer science. And digital computers cannot be made without binary number system. But Pingalacharya did not stop here. He created algorithms to do binary mathematics or analyze poetic meters. So we will have a look at a brief introduction to the work of mathematical work of Pingalacharya and his major contributions to the world of mathematics and computer science. Pingalacharya had developed pratyay or techniques or algorithms to analyze poetic meters. The first of the pratyay is the prastar that we just had a look at. Now, prastar is nothing but combinatorial sequence generation. So we generated rows of poetic meters, or rather all possible combinations of Lagu and Guru Swar for n letters. In computer science or in mathematics, we generally convert decimal numbers to binary numbers, and you have algorithms to convert decimal numbers to binary numbers. And that is the basic foundation of computational mathematics. In the ancient times, the prastar was written on sand. So if the wind is blowing or if something happens, then some of your rows are erased. So you have the row number, but you don't have the sequence of Guru and Lagu Swar. So from a row number, if you want to generate a sequence of Guru and Lagu Swar, how do you generate them? So Pingalacharya created algorithms to regenerate the sequence of Lagu and Guru syllables for a given row or index number. So here we have a prastar for, say, a meter consisting of 4 syllables. And I have this Guru Lagu, that is the 11th row or binary number 10. And I want to regenerate this sequence. I have the row number, but how do I get this row, particular sequence of Guru and Lagu? So Pingalacharya developed an algorithm to do this. And in modern mathematics, that is modern computer science, we also use the similar algorithms to regenerate. So it means that Pingalacharya had the knowledge of place value number system. He used 0 as a place, as a position holder. He used 0 as a position holder or a place holder. And he had knowledge of polynomial division. See, if he did not have knowledge of long polynomial division, he would not have been able to generate the algorithm or create the algorithm to get the binary equivalent of a decimal number. So we have this NUSTM. This algorithm is basically converting a decimal number into a binary number. And if you did not have the knowledge of polynomial division, long polynomial division, or the place value number system, you would not have been able to generate, Pingalacharya would not have been able to generate the algorithm for converting a row number into a sequence of Guru and Lagu. Now, let us say I have the sequence of Guru and Lagu, and I want the row number. So it's a converse of NUSTM. Uddishta is a pratyay, which is a converse of NUSTM. So I have the sequence of Guru and Lagu. So let us say I have a sequence of n Lagus and Gurus. And I want to know in what will be the row number in a prastar. So this algorithm is basically converting binary number into a decimal number. Then he developed the pratyay known as Sankhya, means finding the total number of metrical patterns. So basically when we created this prastar, like we created the prastar for a meter consisting of 2 syllables, from a meter consisting of one syllable. And we created a prastar for meter consisting of 3 syllables from a prastar consisting of 2 syllables. And whenever we did that procedure, we found that the number of rows is getting doubled. So if you have a prastar for, let us say, prastar for a meter consisting of n syllables, so the total number of rows will be 2 raised to n. That is what we found, the formula 2 raised to n. So that is why I said Bhujang Prayatam consists of 12 characters in a pad, 12 syllables in a pad. That is why we have 2 raised to 12, that is 4096 possible combinations if you have 12 syllables in a quarter. So Sankhya, in the Sankhya Pratyay, Pingalacharya is giving us the quickest method to calculate the value of an exponential. Bhujang Prayatam consists of 12 characters. That is, in Mahakavi Kalidasa's Abhigyan Sakundalam, the starting stanza is of Shragdhara meter. And Shragdhara meter consists of 21 characters in a pad, or a quarter of 21 syllables. It is 2 raised to 21. And how do you get this huge value, 2 raised to 21? The Sankhya is the Pratyay, or the algorithm which gives you a method to quickly calculate that value of 2 raised to 21. And guru of all computer gurus, Donald Knuth, he has mentioned in his epic work, Art of Computer Programming, that Pingalacharya had developed some of the earliest and most sophisticated algorithms. And he has especially given the reference of the Sankhya Pratyay in his book. And then comes basically the most sophisticated of algorithm, that is the Lagakriya or the Meru Prastar. Now let us say I have a quarter consisting of, say, 8 syllables, and I want to know that how many combinations are possible for if out of those 8 syllables I have got only 5 guru. For how many combinations are possible with 5 guru and 3 lagu syllables. Pingalacharya gives us a method of finding those combinations, possible combinations. And you must be aware, or you might have learned about Pascal's triangle. Now Pascal's triangle gives us a method for binomial expansion, or gives us the method for binomial coefficients. What we call Pascal's triangle is actually Meru Prastar of Pingalacharya. So Pascal was in the 18th century and Pingalacharya was in the 3rd century BC. So almost 1900 or 2000 years before Pascal, Pingalacharya gave us the Meru Prastar, or what we call nowadays as Pascal's triangle. And actually, Pingalacharya called it Varna Meru, whereas the later commentators on Chandas Shastra, that is Halayud and Hemachandra, called it the Meru Prastar. And Bhaskaracharya in his work Leelavati calls it Khanda Meru, and has given beautiful examples of how to calculate these combinations. Like let us say if we have a prastar for say 12 characters, Bhujang Prayat. It is one of the instance of meter consisting of 12 characters, but for a meter consisting of 12 characters, how many combinations are possible? Let us say having 7 gurus and 5 lagus. So Meru Prastar actually gives us all those combinations and the total number of combinations. So Pingalacharya's book Chanda Shastra, though it is on prosody, it has given some of the most profound mathematics to the world. So everyone must have heard about Fibonacci numbers. That is 0, 1, then 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, and 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3. So it means when you add consecutive numbers, you get the succeeding numbers. So everyone is aware about Fibonacci sequence. But the sorry state is that we Indians are not aware that actually the origin of Fibonacci sequence was ancient India. And it was Pingalacharya who gave us this. It is actually Pingalacharya's Matra Meru. Later on, commentators on Chand Sastra, that is Halayud and Hemachandra, they actually explain you this Matra Meru from the sutras given in Chand Sastra. They explain the Matra Meru. So what we call our Western origin are actually ancient Indian contribution to the world of mathematics. So this is a brief introduction to the amazing work that Pingalacharya had done on mathematics, and which is the foundation or the basic building block of today's digital technology. What I will do is I have written a series of articles on Pingal's Chand Sastra, and I'm going to write more such articles and add them. So Indic Academy has a website, Indic Today, so wherein there is a collection of articles on Indic knowledge systems. So I have written a post, and on my blog also, I'm posting articles. Just a second, I will share that thing. So this is the Meru Prastar. So if you have, let us say, this particular row, 1331. Let me show you. So we have this particular row, 1331. So for a meter consisting of 3 characters or 3 Lagu and Guru, so you can have all these possible combinations. That is 0 Guru, so that is one possible combination. So all 3, then 1 Guru, 3 possible combinations, 2 Guru, 3 combinations, and 3 Gurus, 1 combination. So same way, if you have let us say a Prastar for a meter consisting of say 6 syllables or 6 Gurus and Lagus, and you want say, I want how many combinations are possible. If there are all 6 Gurus, then this is the thing: 5 Gurus, 4 Gurus, 3 Guru, 2 Guru, 1 Guru, and 0 Gurus. And it's all Lagus. So this is the Meru Prastar, or what Pingalacharya called as Varna Meru. And later on, Bhaskaracharya called it the Khanda Meru. So we Indians should not call it Pascal's triangle. We should now consciously call it Meru Prastar by Pingalacharya. I'll again come back to my presentation, original presentation. So on this, on my blog and on the website indictoday.com, you can find my articles on Indian mathematics. And so Matra Meru, Meru Prastar is basically for combinatorics. And I would like to just update the knowledge of the participants that combinatorics in India was even more ancient than Pingalacharya. If you go to Charak Samhita or Susrut Samhita, they have enlisted the combinations of 6 ras and 3 dosh. We have the Vak, Pit, Kaf. So what are the combinations of Vak, Pit, Kaf? And we have the 6 ras, Katu, or other 6 taste or 6 ras So you have different combinations of ras, and they are enlisted in Susrut Samhita and Charak Samhita, which were much earlier than Pingalacharya's Chanda Sastra. We have the Pingalacharya's algorithm was that first write 1, then below that 1 write 1 1, and so on. You go on writing this 1. So first in the first row have 1 column, in the second row have 2 columns, in the third 3, in the fourth 4, and then in the end you write 1, all ones. Then how do I get this 2? When I add this top 2, immediately top 2 numbers, I get this 2. So when I add that 1 plus 2, it gives me 3. Then I add this 2 plus 1, it gives me 3. When I for the next row, when I add 1 plus 3, I get a 4. 3 plus 3 gives me a 6. So it's a recursive process. Like in Prastar, when I want a Prastar for say a meter consisting of 4 syllables, so that is developed or created from a Prastar of meter consisting of 3 syllables. And that is created from a meter of 2 syllables. So the Pingalacharya's algorithms were basically recursive. So if you the combinations for a meter consisting of 5 syllables can be created from the 4th row, which are actually combinations for a meter having 4 syllables. So they are recursive in nature. And to understand them, of course, people can go through my articles, or we can have a separate series of lectures on explaining each algorithm. People who are from maths background or a technical background, they can correlate what I'm speaking today with the mathematics they have learned. And regarding that Fibonacci, so in the Chand, either you have fixed number of characters. Let us say we in a composition we have this 4 path or 4 foot. Each foot or quarter has fixed number of syllables. That let us say we have got this n characters, or let us say 5 characters. So that number of characters is fixed, and we are looking at the combinations of 5 Lagu and Guru. Or let us say for a meter having say 8 characters, we are looking at combinations of 8 Guru and Lagu. So number of characters is fixed. And that is why we get the Varna Meru or the Meru Prastar. But other way of looking at Chand is fixed number of Matra. That is like if, let us say, the period for a Guru Swar is 2 and a Lagu Swar is 1. So period means what we call Matra. So a Lagu Swar has 1 Matra and a Guru Swar has 2 Matra. So in a particular quarter, instead of fixed number of characters, you have a fixed number of Matra. So the number of characters or the number of matras should add up to the same number. So when you analyze how many combinations are there for, let us say, 5 matra or say 6 matra, the Fibonacci sequence or rather Matra Meru gives you the number of combinations for a fixed number of matras. So you can have, say, let us say if I want say 5 matra, so 5 Lagu will give me 5 matra, 2 Guru and 1 Lagu will give me 5 matra, or 1 Guru and 3 Lagu will give me 5 matra. So what are the possible number of combinations for a fixed number of matra? And that is Matra Meru. No, Bhaskaracharya didn't give 0. There's a misconception that Aryabhat gave 0, but the knowledge may be even more ancient. And in Chanda Sastra, there are sutras which mention Shunya. And I have explained that Pingalacharya's later Pratyay, the Nasta, Uddishta, they used basically binary numbers, and binary numbers consist of 0 and 1. So of course, he used the symbol for 0, Of course, not the round that we use for a shunya, but something else. See, it can be any symbol. Basically, it's an abstract idea. So yeah, we can say in a way, Pingalacharya had the knowledge of zero, both as a symbol and as a concept.
Like
And
in
he
the
has
Vedic
mentioned
literature,
Sunya in his sutras. Pardon?
yeah, like in Vedic literature, we have the word kha, that is the space or avakasha, which is like shunya.
Yeah. So
Kham.
concept of zero is very old since Vedic times. But then symbol, like let us say I have got 107 and I have got 17. So how do I distinguish between 17 and 107 if I don't have the symbol, if I don't place a space in between 1 and 7? So you can mistake 107 for 17 if I don't put a symbol in between those two numbers. Zero means nothing. So, Westerners could not grapple with that idea that you can have a symbol for nothing. Or rather, they didn't have, like Europe didn't have Roman. If you look at Roman numbers, it was not a place value number system. When we were using binary number systems and algorithms to do multiplication and division of, say, long polynomial, Westerners didn't have that place value number system, whereas we were doing sophisticated algorithms to deal with those numbers. They are also called as the Halayud Hemachandra numbers or the Virahanka. Yeah.
Okay.
Meru Prastar is basically like, suppose, let us say I've got, say, Shrakdara meter. And Shrakdara meter is one of the instances having 21 characters. Or rather, let us say the Bhujanga Prayat that was used by Adi Shankaracharya in Bhavani Ashtakam. It is having 12 characters in a pad. And it is and if you have 12 characters, you can have 4096. That is 2 raised to 12 combinations of Lagu and Guru. And it is one of those combinations of 4096 possible combinations. So Prastar basically gives you all the combinations. Like if I have a Prastar for, say, a meter having 3 syllables, then it can have 8 possible combinations. That is from 000, that is all Guru to all Lagu. The Prastar basically enlists all the possible combinations. And Meru Prastar gives us, okay, like suppose in this Bhujang Prayat, this 12 characters. In 12 characters, how many combinations are possible if I have, say, 8 Lagu and 4 Guru? Or let us say I've got 3 Lagu and 9 Gurus. How many combinations are possible? That is the use of Meru Prastar. And Prastar basically enlists all the combinations. So if you have, say, Shrakdara, so it's a huge number. You are not going to write down each and every row. Yeah, it is. If you want to learn combinatorics or binomial expansion, or
he has asked it.
Yeah, so it is of course, everyone is using it, but we call it Pascal's triangle. We don't call it Meru Prastar. I think so. The right person to answer it would be Gokarna Karji. But yeah, 2 days back, I had a discussion with Sri Hariji. He's a good friend of mine. And he said that, okay, there were earlier work also, but he must have actually brought all the knowledge together and codified it. So he is the right person, and I think so. He must be attending the today's talk.
He must be, yeah. And there is one computer engineer here, computer head of the department of Mumbai University, Ambuja, Professor Ambuja. She has mentioned about Subhash Kak's article on Katapayadi in Chandas Sutra, and he has referred to Laghu Guru as binary system.
Yes,
so thank you, Ambuja. And Chandrahas ji is closely working with Padma Shri Subhash Kak ji. So I think we have had enough questions.
Yeah, I would like to add to. I would like to add to. Add a point to Ambujaji's question. Professor Kak has written a very, along with Professor T.R.N. Rao, he has written a very good book, Computing Science in Ancient India. And that actually gives you a lot of information about development of number system, development of computing science in ancient India. And there is a book by Georges Ifra. There are 3 volumes, Universal History of Numbers and Universal History of Computing. And out of 3 volumes, I would say almost 70% of the work is devoted to India.
Okay.
And I can meet Ambujaji and show.
Yes, you can surely
show
meet
the
her.
books.
She is in Mumbai University.
Yeah, I have the books with me.
I'll pass on her number to you. If you don't have it, I'll pass on.
It is basically a comment on Pingalacharya's Chanda Sastra. The last sutra in Halayud has written a commentary on the last sutra in Chanda Sastra. That is, I think so, the sutra number 8.34. 34th verse or 34th sutra in the 8th chapter. And Halayud is actually explaining that sutra. And it is because of Halayud's commentary that we were able to understand Pingalacharya's cryptic code.
Are there any basic books which people can refer to? Apart from Chanda Shastra and apart from the Halayuda's Tika, are there any other books if a person wants to do something in Chanda Shastra?
I mentioned about Professor Kak's book, Computing Science in Ancient India. And I had attended one workshop in Nagpur. Venugopal Herur, an engineer in Karnataka, retired engineer, he has written a book. He has written a book on this Pratyay, on Chanda. But he expects you to know mathematics. It's not a basic book. But there are many articles online by Indian and foreign university researchers on Pingalacharya's Chanda Sastra. It was developed, but we were unaware. Like I would like to comment, there is a very good series of lectures on Indian mathematics, series of lectures on Indian mathematics by Professor Ramasubramanian, M.D. Srinivas, and Sri Ram. They were recorded by NPTEL and they are on the NPTEL YouTube channel. So it's a series of 40 lectures. There is one lecture devoted to Pingal's Chanda Sastra. So I also refer to those lectures. They're amazing. Yeah, but they do expect a level of mathematics from you.
Yes.
And of course, I have also written a series of articles on Pingal's Chanda Sastra. People can go there and read an article on each pratyay, and they can also compare Kedar Bhatt's algorithms with Pingalacharya's algorithms.
Okay, thank you. There are so many good compliments to you, Chandrahas ji. Very nice session, very informative. and people would like to connect with you through your blogs, through maybe there are so many lectures available, the videos. I have seen a couple of videos myself. I referred to, the 10 ayudhas in the 10 hands of Shiva and the 24 names of Vishnu, the Sandhya names. So I would like the participants to just Google his name, and you will get so many videos, very motivating and very informative. So thank you so much, Chandrahas ji, for coming here
Madam,
and enlightening us.
Thank you for the blessings. And there is one more of my teacher here, Ruchita Rane.
Oh yeah, she's here.
I had attended one of our lecture at Mumbai University, and I still remember that entire lecture.
Good.
Thanks to her.
We have got very good teachers and very good shishyas here. I think I'll wind it up with Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.